Welcome to another episode of Bumpin'
Bullseyes.
Today we're going to be having a little competition with the Mossberg Shockwave.
That's right. That's what I've chosen, so I can finally get to shoot it.
Well then, let's go shooting.
Let's do it. I chose the Shockwave as the competition gun because I thought maybe then I'd finally get to shoot it. So, and we got 5 clay pigeons set up, and you gotta hit them in sequence. You don't have to knock them. You don't have to actually hit them to get points. Each one is worth 2, but you have to knock them down in sequence. And if you do it out of sequence, you lose 2 points. So you have the possibility of getting 10 points. Or what? You could.
Well, you get 2 points apiece.
Yes.
You got 5 targets, so you got possibility of 10. If you missed them all, but they all fell down, the first one that falls better be the one you're supposed to fall first, right? So if that did fall, you'd get 2 points, and you'd lose a point for each one of the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, be -4 in your 2, so you'd be 2 in the hole.
Yeah.
But if one of the other ones fell first before the one you're aiming at, then you get a negative on each one, would be a -5. Is that, do I understand it correctly?
I believe so, yes.
And so they have to come down in sequence. What's the sequence?
The tallest one's first, from left to right. So that one, then the middle one, and then the far right, and then the lower right, and then the lower left.
Okay, let me get this straight. So I'm shooting it from left to right, and then the lower one's from right to left.
That's right.
And each one has to fall off its pedestal in that order.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, it's a -1 point. If it does fall off in order, then I get 2 points plus for it, right?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
And I'll let you go first and show me how to do it.
That's right.
Like
Since
that?
I love shooting this so much, I've got a second round for the competition. I've set up 5 targets on the wafer board back there. The object is to hit the center target, and you get 30 points. And if any of the pellets hit any of the other 4 targets around the center one, you lose 1 point for every pellet that hits one of the targets that was not intended.
Okay.
And...
Well, let me get it straight. So I got to shoot the center target
Yes.
to score. If I hit the center target, I get 30 points.
That's right.
If any of the pellets from that shot hit any other of the other targets, I lose what?
1 point for each pellet.
1 point for each hole in the other targets.
Yep.
Okay, there's one more question.
Yes.
Well, 2 more questions. Just 1 shot is all you get, right?
1 shot.
Okay, the second question, why do you have golf balls on top?
The golf balls are just for chance. If when you're done, there's any golf balls remaining on the top, you get 10 points for each golf ball.
Okay, so if I shoot it and all 3 golf balls are up there, I end up with 60 points if I don't put any holes in the 4 surrounding targets.
That's right.
Okay.
There you go.
This seems very easy to win.
Does it?
Yes.
Well, I'll show you how it's done then.
Well, fine. Let's get shooting.
Let's do it.
Okay, anytime you want.
So not the best shot in the world. I seem to be kind of right here, but I did hit it right here. So I did hit the center target, and I have no marks in any of the other ones. That's 30 points for me, and there's 1 golf ball left. So that's 40.
Let's see. I don't really see any pellet marks in.
Here you go, right here. I did hit it. Yep. Even though most of it's there, I did hit it, and there's nothing in any of the other 4. So that's 40 points for me.
I think you spent some time figuring this game out. Well, the balls aren't in the same spot.
Sure they are.
I don't know. I'm going to talk to Jack about this when we're done.
Jack told me to put them there.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm going to file a complaint with Jack about this.
Well, you could try.
Oh, my.
What'd you get?
Well, I got 2 over here. What do I lose for that?
1 point every time you hit it there.
Roll, so there's 2 points. Darn close up here, I bet. So I don't seem to see very much down here, so I have to assume this is my pattern. Going that way. So I'm shooting a little high and a little to the right. I think this is where the center of it hit.
So how many points did you get?
Well, I got 30 less 2, 28, and apparently I get no golf ball points at all.
Aww.
So I got 28.
28.
Well, we got our little competition done. My wife was the winner. I lost on that second round, shooting at the target in the center with the moving golf balls. And they did move, yeah.
It's a nice tip.
So at any rate, we thought we'd briefly talk about the Mossberg Shockwave because both of us at one point or another were shooting a little high and a little off to one side. I was shooting a little to the right and a little high in some of my shots, and she was shooting a little to the left and high. And the reason for that was we were canting the gun. And this is the deal with a Shockwave. You have no stock on it. Normally a shotgun with a stock would be mounted on your shoulder and your hand on the forend, and you got a good stable platform. But here you don't. You have to use it kind of more like a handgun, only you don't get, like a handgun, you don't have that good platform that you got the grip on. Here you got to get your hand up on the forend, and you got to keep this gun out in front of you for obvious reasons because you don't want to lose your teeth. So what I found that I like the best for a technique for this, and I'm sure there's a lot of techniques out there to use, but what I like to do, if you take the gun, when you chamber around a pump shotgun, you do it with authority and go forward. Well, that's the kind of grip I want on the thing, and I want to push out forward with this arm and this hand here, firmly grip it and kind of create a little tension there, but keep that barrel out forward so it can't come back when you shoot it. But what that also does is you get it squared off on target, and by pushing forward and keeping it forward, you aren't going to cant that barrel. As soon as you get comfortable with it and you start relaxing a little bit, then you start getting sloppy with how you're holding it. And you see when the angle of your wrist and things change on the front, you see how that barrel cants.
No.
So you really got to keep on top of that and keep it out forward. which you should anyways, and get that as part of your technique and keep it that way so you can keep that barrel squared off with the target. So just thought I'd mention that real quick.
Yep.
Other than that, I guess you won this week. I lost, so I get to pick the next competition. And I think what we'll do is hold off for a couple of weeks, because I'd like to spend the next couple of weeks in our videos working with you with your SIG down the hard target range.
I would like that.
So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to instruct her in the proper technique of deploying the firearm, what you do after you deploy it, and reholstering. And readily I admit I am no instructor, but I think I've had enough experience I can instruct my wife on this. So that's what we're going to be doing. I hope you tune in to see those videos. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for being patrons. We'll leave you a little more footage from the range. Thanks for tuning in for this competition.
That's right.
Yeah. Till next time, from MrHolster, the good loser.
MrsHolster, the winner.
Yeah. And Jack.
And Jack.
Go out and stay safe.